Not quite 1/4, and never just half, but the entirety of one primate, whole. It is the part of a story, an idea that means more to you than me. Hello and welcome to Full Gorilla Life. We are Jeremy Keene,
Larry Medina, and Corey Hewlings.
Each week, we will break down an important life concept or talk with an inspiring person so that you can live your full gorilla life.
By the way, that got recorded in there.
Yeah, we really need to re-record that intro.
No, I feel like that's pretty good. We're gonna let's just run with it.
Corey,
So I actually just saw a clip about mummies, and they did like a 3D scan, and they figured out like what their vocal cords look like. So they recreated. They did a 3D print of the vocal cords, and they recreated what they probably sounded like.
Oh, like King Tut, like what he actually sounds like.
Yeah, but it was like what they got out of it was like, which is the exact same sound that you made.
King Tut over here?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's about right. That's about right. Well, welcome back, guys. We appreciate you listening for sure. I guess this is going to be our wrap-up episode for
the year, right?
1 year in for us. It's going to end our first season. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we got some exciting stuff coming up. So we got to do some filming and recording, and we'll take a little bit of a break. But we kind of wanted to just sit down and I guess
say thanks
and kind of, I guess,
reflect.
Reflect.
Yeah, just a little reflecting with all the past guests that we've had. I mean, for me, this is Larry. For me, it's been a great ride as far as getting to know a lot of people, getting to talk with Dr. Hockey, Dr. Sean Kelly, Dr. Story, meeting cancer survivors. And honestly, for me, what's gratifying personally is I know we've gotten personal messages where it's like, you know, people have reached out and they're like, I'm so thankful for this episode because it actually helped with this, that, or the other. And I don't want to get too personal in there, but you know, that's actually really cool because that's really what this podcast was for me, all about why I wanted to get started.
Agreed. I think it was fun to like thinking back on the journey. Even every episode I left that night driving home with like a lesson that I didn't think I was going to learn that day. Just thought we were having a conversation about something, and then like a whole life lesson came at me, or more, even sometimes with the one conversation. And I thought that was, again, all the time, just like, wow, wouldn't have thought of that. And then you get rejuvenated for your own life. That was like, so like not even thinking about like getting something back out of it. That was so powerful. And then knowing that we were able to help others, whether it was, you know, like you're saying, or even the silly videos we did and where people would laugh and get and interact on social media. And like, and that was another, you know, so definitely met a lot of cool people this year.
Yeah, it's been, I guess I've gotten a lot more out of it than what I thought I was gonna when we started, you know? And for me, I'm a big into networking, I guess. So that was, you know, kind of how I started the thought process in my head. Like, this is a great way to network and meet new people and interesting people. And I think I really got a lot more out of it than just networking. There was actually, like you said, more life lesson there, and how people have been able to overcome some things and, you know, adversity or whatever it may be, or whatever their adversity was, how they were able to overcome, and, you know, even maybe with less than I have, or, you know, or more excuses than what I have, you know, and they've, you know, done something bigger or better. So for me, I think that was really eye-opening.
Definitely.
Yeah. I can't believe. So for a lot of people, right, with 2020, COVID, it's and everything else that's going on in the world, it's just, it's probably been like a terrible year, but for me, it's been pretty gratifying. And it's been pretty good, and I hope to keep that momentum going.
Yeah. For you guys got a favorite episode that we did this year?
You know,
that's tough. I'd have to actually, and it sounds like I should know more like about our own episodes. I feel like I have to go through and like think of every single one.
Yeah, you know, what I could say, probably the one that I learned the most out of, for me, was probably our last episode in Mama Mele, which we recorded a while back, and that's probably the one that I learned the most from, mainly because it's here's a man who he's bringing people over who are from Africa, and they don't have much. Like, they legitimately don't have much. And just like, just his story to me, like, that was just really good, but to seriously, like, sit down and pinpoint which one's my favorite. I mean, the cancer survivor, Jeannie, was fantastic. Dr. Hockey was a great conversation. Rob and Wendy were just great, gracious guests. Like,
multiple times. Yeah.
multiple
definitely.
times. I don't necessarily have a specific favorite.
You know what I found too, through the process, it is hard to come up with a favorite. That one definitely was empowering for me. But I felt like they all came at the right time. Like,
That's a good way.
Because like everyone had a different lesson. And I know I've talked about it a little bit throughout different episodes. Like, I was like in a professional journey trying to get to administration and all this stuff. And it was like, there's roadblock after roadblock to the point of like, screw it and all that stuff. But I would every Monday night almost, like it was like a therapy session in a way, not even knowing it for me. And it's selfish in that regard that, like, I feel like I was getting more out of it than putting in. And, but I would leave like, okay, all right, that's a good lesson. I can use that and move forward. Oh, I can use that. I can move forward, like, every week. Or if we had the back-to-back nights that we recorded, it was like double whammies. Like, oh my gosh, 2 totally different life lessons. And it was, but I all felt like they almost always came at the right time to help me with something in life. So really, in that regard, they like all of them become the best.
One big episode.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you?
What about you? Yeah.
I don't know. It's really, really tough. And I'm sitting here looking at a list of them, and then I'm like, man, I forgot about that episode.
Seriously.
And when I was just scrolling through like the list, I think one of the most humbling would be Costa Rica Part 2. Just that, unfortunately, she passed away, but to be able to share that experience with her and know that she went out and lived her live dream and she did exactly what she wanted and she didn't wait for tomorrow. It almost gives me goosebumps right now, or it does give me goosebumps right now as I'm talking about it, because I see so many people that, get stuck in that rut and, they pass away or something, or they're just always waiting on tomorrow. And it's somebody that unfortunately died way too young. And, but at least, for, friends and family of her, they can at least know that she went out and lived her dream. She did what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I think to be able to talk with somebody like that is like completely humbling, and be able to record that.
Yeah, no, that one was quite a surprise, right? Because me and Jeremy went to school with Nikki, and she was our guest for Costa Rica Part 2. And that one hit pretty good, as far as like when I read it, I was like, that doesn't sound right, and then it was verified through friends and unfortunately that was the case. But yeah, to your point, Corey, I mean, she didn't wait. She knew what she wanted to do. It always reminds me of that story, the fisherman story, where it's like, fisherman, let's just say Costa Rica, right? He's in Costa Rica and he's maybe not making a ton of money, but the wealthy businessman is like, comes over on vacation. He's like, hey, take me out on a fishing tour. And the kid says, yeah, no problem. And on the tour, the businessman is asking him questions like, why don't you want to do more with your life? Why don't you aspire to do this, to do that? And the fisherman responds back with, well, when you retire, what are you going to do? And he says, well, probably going to go to a fishing village and fish. He's like, well, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So why wait?
Yeah. It's, and what I mean by humbling too is just like to get to hear her story, you know, before, the tragic events that unfolded afterwards, Yeah.
Yeah. Because we actually had lost touch. So honestly, I don't think I would have spoken to her.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the podcast.
Scheduling the episode, we wouldn't have probably.
We wouldn't have.
And I didn't know her before the episode. So like I said, it was just a humbling experience for me. And I was just chasing dreams for me too with Chase. And his Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
experience too, getting me to drive 16 hours to go get a chicken salad sandwich.
But there was a lot of episodes like that. If you think of like all the different business owners that entrepreneurs that started up, like
Sunday Strong.
Sunday Strong, Paradola, Walking Tree, like we had several beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great episode.
But
Yeah.
you know, like their story of starting from scratch and just really making the jump, that was empowering because like so many people have some pretty darn good ideas and they think of them for a second and then never putting effort into it. And I think everybody does that, but jumping on them, look where they got those guys.
Yeah, or,
That was-
and the Alex Zendejas from when she wanted to become a teacher and her
Yeah.
parents wouldn't let her go to school, but she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and keep going to school. It's just
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I mean, obviously, too. I mean, I can't go without mentioning Nikki
of course.
Ray. I mean, I think she came on, and we didn't have any following at that point,
No.
and
She was gracious
was
enough to say,
gracious enough to come on and talk with us. And I'm stumbling over my words.
well, she
and-
had a following in that, and then
Well,
she was
she
like
did.
able to come in and help us with a little boost.
yeah,
right away.
right away.
And
I
this
mean,
is where I didn't mean to interrupt you. Your networking came in because then we were able to get further guests,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that trickled into Robin.
But I
Wendy
mean,
and those-
not to mention,
yeah.
I mean, her episode was a great episode
It
on
was.
top
It was.
of that. But despite how nervous or
Oh,
unprepared
when
or-
I re-listened to that
what-
one, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that's
we-
definitely our
we had-
second episode.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were doing. What was our first one with the guest?
Join our journey.
Unretired, right?
No,
Yes.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was our
So
first
that was
guest.
with Jason,
With Jason,
and again, he's a guy,
a friend,
who's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was. I felt like that one probably even was a little. I mean, not that Nikki's not a good friend, but I knew she had a business, that she was talking about, and talking to Jason, I think was just a little bit different, for me,
yeah, for sure.
than talking to a business owner that's actually gone out and started something.
Yeah, the thing with Jason, well, his story to me, what really sticks out is that he really valued his friendship, right? Enough to say, I'm getting out of the rat race just to spend your last few minutes on Earth with you,
Yeah.
and so he quit, retired early, and has been on like a 4 or 5 year, 6 year hiatus of work.
Yeah.
If you listen, Jay, we need to know what you're doing right now.
I know
To get you back on for
I know
next
he's doing.
season.
Actually,
Oh,
he's about. He's about to start a brewery.
Oh, that's right. Because he said he kind of wanted to go that route, but he wasn't sure yet.
Yeah.
Look at there.
So
while
probably
we
not. Yeah.
Maybe
so
he'll be back in next season then and talking about his
I'm
journey.
thinking
there.
we could do it from his spot.
And
Where is he? He's up.
Orlando.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, that's not far.
Van Life was another great
Van
episode.
Life was a great episode. That's
It's
probably that's been
absolute-
our most successful episode.
Has
I-
it?
I mean,
I
it's just
haven't-
an absolute
I haven't looked at the numbers.
great
in a bit.
episode, and I mean, just being able to meet them in the park in Savannah, like
I think that makes
you
that
know,
even better
just
for
like-
you because of where it originated, and then being able to let it develop into that.
yeah, I mean, just to be able to, and then be willing enough to, share their experience. And, it's something that, me and Larry have talked about probably 100 times in 50 episodes. But, them being honest enough to know, tell us that, hey, it's not all sunsets and sunrises out the back door. It's a lot of Walmart parking lot signs,
Yeah.
and bring some reality to the situation, I guess.
Yeah.
And ground me a little bit.
Yeah.
Ignite Wrestling, another great.
That was a good one.
Kim,
Yeah.
she's just an absolute
Hustler. Like she
hustler.
hustles.
Like whenever I think of like a hustling entrepreneur, like that's who I would think of. Kim Artlip, right?
Yep. Kim Artlip.
And
Yep,
Nikki Ray. I would think of those two people.
for sure.
The Hustlers,
Yeah.
And then you have Spartan Life, right?
Brian.
Yeah, Brian. It's just crazy how many local people, like seriously, are rock stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like seriously, like he helped
Yes.
start Spartan Races, like legitimately, like a co-founder.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy, right? Like seriously.
And then Sebastian from Cartnarks, there's another one that
Yes.
had no reason why he should have said yes to come on our show.
But he's like, yeah, I'll do it.
I mean, I can't thank somebody like that enough. Like that doesn't have
He was
like
awesome.
he
That was a fun episode.
yeah, like there was no like, he could have just blew me off like, thousands
Yeah.
of other people already have. If I could tell you how many people have said they won't come on this show, we'd need
Yeah.
all night though.
we would.
It'd get a little
It's-
boring
It's
before
not
those.
all
yeah, sunshine,
sunshine
and
and
roses.
rainbows. Yeah. Yeah, and Rob, right? He talked about how he went from just working at Lowe's and just starting his own business and being successful, and
Rob Seeley.
and Rob Seeley, and going through his mentorship, and everybody needs a mentor, right? So that's that's one thing that I remember from Rob saying when I used to do CrossFit. He had when we were doing CrossFit, he was a coach, and he still had somebody coaching him. Me and Jeremy did not, and he's still healthy.
He said everybody needs a coach.
But you know what? He said that in one of our episodes too. So it's like two Rob said very much the same message.
And it's funny because when Sarah, my wife, has started with a personal trainer, she's been with her for 3 or 4 months now. And it's, not a cheap expense. So, but that's all I had in the back of my mind when she said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to start with this, personal trainer, one-on-one sessions with her. And she's great. And, as we were sitting down to make the financial decision, all I had in the back of my mind was Rob going, everybody needs a coach. And I was like, well, he, obviously is living proof of like that, for the physical fitness side of it, so like, who am I to argue with it really, and if we can make it happen, we can swing it, then.
And I've used that saying the last few weeks back at school. Like, we all need coaches. We all have next steps, no matter where you're at. If you're year 1 teacher, if you're year 20 teacher, we all have a next step that we can improve upon.
And absolutely. Even the guy that's ready to retire, you need somebody to mentor you through that next stage.
That transition.
Yeah. If you've been teaching for 30 years, you need somebody to say, hey, this is what it's going to be like when you wake up next September. Because no matter how much, if somebody's done a job for 30 years, no matter how much they say they want out, and there's no way, they're going to miss something about that job.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
No matter what the job is, whether it's camaraderie with, people they work with or people they help or students. So there's no phase in your life where you're not going to need that coach or that mentor, or should have, I should say. Not that you can't get by without it, but you get so much more out of life, I think, with it.
Yeah. And then you have other episodes like Marta Zeker, right? A vet, local vet, and he does a lot for the community. Unfortunately, we couldn't do the Blue Angels this year because of COVID, but maybe next year. And then you have Ingrid. Hernandez,
yeah,
and she's
another hustler, absolute
hustler, rock star, Action for Jackson.
Yeah,
that was probably one that I'd say like got me the most, like emotionally, if you will. That one, just hearing that story, and then when we first, you guys, I think you set that one up, right, Larry? That interview,
Maybe, yeah, probably.
And I wasn't even putting two to two together that I was already connected through, like from when I taught at Treasure Coast and all that stuff. Like I was like, and then it's like, oh my God, it wasn't even connecting at that time, and then realizing that. I remember them going through that,
rough.
And then holding.
That was, I use rough very lightly, because I can't imagine, what they went through as parents. But I mean, it's just like it was a heavy episode.
Yes.
But it actually, gave me a lot of like, I guess, insight and hope in the community, and what they went through. I guess hope in humanity.
Yeah, because
maybe
Well, it brings to me. It always brings me back to how polarizing politics are right now, right? But when the dust settles, honestly, I feel like as humans, we all got each other's back, right? Whether we're assholes to each other on a daily basis for no real reason, at the end of the day, like when dust really settles and I really need zombie apocalypse happens, people are going to get together and they're going to be like, hey,
you're not going to be like, wait, what's your party?
Right. They're going to be like, dude, let's kill these zombies. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not going to worry whether your skin's black or white or, brown or,
No, all of a sudden you're their best friend.
Yeah.
But Action for Jackson, I'm with you. Like it gives you a lot of hope.
That one.
Yeah.
And then you have Mike at Walking Tree taking the risk, right?
That one, if I think about that episode, I think about, was it a $1.3 or $1.8 million loan? And I know they had other people, but like that, puts a pit in my stomach.
Yeah, but it shows you how bad he wanted it.
Yes, I agree. But when I think about that episode, that's what I think about. Like I think about, the big, like, just pit in your stomach, like, we're really doing this. Like, we're really doing this, Harry. Like,
and then we have Phil Billy.
Oh, Phil Billy.
I missed that one.
Yeah. Keen accidentally missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah.
But
it was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode.
I've actually re-listened to that a couple times.
Fun
you?
episode. Great guy. He probably doesn't align with everybody. You know, he's probably not everybody's cup of tea.
He's not, but that's okay.
But that's yeah, exactly. That's
It was
okay.
a fun listen because I listened to it. When I listened to it, it was I
Yeah.
laughed a few times. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's
Yeah.
you know. So I get that side of it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another guy that really could have just blew me off. Like he had no like ties to me or no. You know.
And you talked to him a couple times before that. Like I remember being here, and we would just had like
Oh, yeah, we
conversations with
called
him on
him one
speaker.
time.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And he was in the middle of doing something. I think he was at a bar.
Yeah.
And he walked out of the bar just to take our call.
Yeah, and again, another person that just you know, and that, I guess that whole side of things is humbling to me too, because it's like, you know, for people to help us out like that and share their stories with us, like, yeah, especially when he really didn't. There was not a lot of upside for him, you
None.
know. So,
Really.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe some viewership through us or something, but it's still like. He could have just as easily blew us off and spent his time doing something.
It wouldn't have
else, you know?
changed his side of things for
It wouldn't.
probably very
Yeah.
much. I think what I've learned too is like every episode that we've done, whether for whatever reason, wherever it was or whatever it was about, we know it connected to somebody. Like somebody listened and got something out of it. Like you said, we got a message about this one or this one. And I think that was I remember the first, I don't remember exactly what it said, but I remember getting like the first email about like, I thank you for that episode. It really helped me. Well, I remember reading that. I was like, oh wow, that's really
I
cool.
enjoyed what was it? It was Quitting for a Day, right?
That one was one. I really did like that one a lot too.
Yeah.
Like that. And again, like the one thing I got, like people were like kind of upset that there was a lot of cussing in that one. But honestly, I prefer people to cuss if that's who they are.
Yeah, to be authentic.
You know, be
true to
authentic, be
themselves.
yourself. And so for me, like I thought it was phenomenal, and I actually did get a lot of good compliments on that episode because
Yeah. And
It
I
speaks
never
truth.
listen, and I guess this should be stated that, you know, we didn't edit our stuff before we put it out. We wanted people to be authentic. We wanted people to, you know, this is who they really are. And, you know, while our views and, you know, might not align with everybody that we had on the show, you know, you can still learn something from somebody that you might not necessarily align up with, you know.
for sure.
You might not be wanting to make moonshine with Phil Billy, but you could probably learn something. You can learn something
You
from
can,
the guy.
for
you know?
sure.
Well, we learned how to make wine.
Well,
It
No, I thought it was
didn't go
fine.
very well.
We have some
according to-
snobs.
Yeah, there's a couple
you did.
wine
Nobody
snobs.
drank it.
I
Yes,
drank it.
Larry drank it.
Corey, did you
All
drink
right?
it?
I don't drink.
See, he didn't drink it. But you know, what I was gonna say, the lesson I probably got from him is like people take stuff too seriously. That'd probably be the biggest message I
Yes.
got from Phil
Yeah.
Billy. Like he said that. I wasn't in studio, but listening to the episode, he was like, he's like, man, people get all the extra this and the bells and whistles because you put it in a milk jug, put it on the fridge.
Yeah.
3 months later, you got some wine, and
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
we might have done it better in a milk jug. I don't know.
It
Or
might
a
have-
water
it
jug.
might
Milk
have
could have been there. I don't know. But
Instead,
he's
we
right.
bought the $50 kit.
But we do. We tend to take everything to extremes and take stuff too seriously. I'm very guilty of that in lots of areas of my life. And it's like, calm down, Keen. It's fine. You move on. You're going to be fine. So, like
Yeah.
you said,
Yeah.
all of them had a message.
And-
all of them
and-
reached somebody.
And honestly, like surprisingly, one of the ones that I felt I got a lot out of, and I should say surprisingly, but Winwood Tattoos,
Yeah.
Jovan.
Yeah.
Jo-
There's another guy that just, you know, he was.
yeah.
Our video on that kind of got messed up. That's what Keen's- that's what Keen's laughing at, yeah.
because the video was totally just,
Jacked
it
up.
was what it was. But
Yeah.
it was, we learned that though when COVID
Yeah.
made us go virtual,
Yeah.
people were seeing themselves whole, but then it was coming back
not whole.
not
Yeah.
whole, because we had that on the Warzone.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
but at that point
That
we
was a
learned,
good one too.
and we said, hey, and we
Yeah.
learned just to fix it from the get go. It was
Yeah.
fine, like say it. But that was actually, that one was really neat, like something that I would have never ever known the background of that, or
Right.
Of what?
the war zone,
The war zone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
with the UN and everything.
Jovan was cool though.
I didn't mean to change away from that. I apologize.
Yeah,
but
Jovan was. I enjoyed that episode for sure.
You should explain how you ran into them.
Yeah.
just in case they forgot.
Yeah.
No, like just for
What-
people. Like you
Yeah.
know, so you're just at a
Yeah,
gas station.
I was just at a gas station. He had a cool car. You know, I'm a car guy, so I just walked up and started talking to him about his. I think it was a '68 Cadillac. Yeah, because I had a '67, and
He had just bought it.
he had just bought it. It was, I think it was running a little hot or something. They had the hood popped, and they were just on their way back to Miami. He had just bought the car. I was talking to him about it. You know, just classic Cadillac type stuff, and what a nightmare they are, really. And
Because you had one.
yeah, because I had one, and a nightmare for parts, I should say. So, you know, we just struck up a conversation. You know, I seen he was all tatted up. I asked him what he did. He said he was a tattoo artist, owned a shop down in Miami in Woodwood. And, you know, it just kind of went from there. You know, I've always been a fan of tattoos, as I'm still yet to have any, but
It's gonna happen soon.
it's soon. So we just decided.
All
you know,
right,
it
Corey,
kinda
I'll get one
clicked.
with you.
Yeah. You know, it kind of clicked, you know. I was like, hey, man, like, what's that process look like opening a shop, you know? And he was somebody that had been, you know, in the tattoo industry since he was 14 years old,
Yeah.
and just decided
It was a
he
neat
gonna,
story. It
Yeah,
was a very
go
neat
out
story.
and, you know, open his own gig, and finally, you know, got his own shop and has guest artists, and, you know, he
Yeah.
tattoos there, and, you know, it seems to be doing really well for himself.
Yeah.
He's buying classic Cadillacs, so
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you also have Haley, Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
Did his little ditty for us.
yes.
You
My only complaint about that is I wish would have just had better audio for that.
On our
Be-
end,
video.
for us, yeah, on our
for
end.
us.
Yeah, for us. I mean, it was kind of. I was kind of
It
disappointed.
didn't do her justice.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go. That's
exactly.
the best way to say it.
Yeah,
I agree with
exactly.
you.
I was just disappointed that it didn't come out as well as it should have.
Then you have Marty.
And again, that was COVID.
Yeah.
You know what was a good one? I thought was interesting was Through the Lens, like with Nick
Yes.
and like
yes.
learning the hit, like just right here. This guy's traveled the world.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
actually.
Working for
I
Nat
think he just
Geo.
got back.
Yeah, say like when you think about that, like people we have right here doing things of that magnitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know,
Because we take
I could easily make that excuse, right? Of like, nobody would make. I'd have to.
nobody's
Move
gonna
to,
be-
I'd have
yeah.
to move to LA, and you know,
Yeah,
New York
the guy-
City, and
Yeah,
this guy's doing it out of Vero Beach.
Yeah.
doing, and then like knowing that we have like full on submarine shops in Sebastian.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That they're hiring them out from around the world. You know.
Yeah, never
and,
knew that. Until
and
that
it can
night.
touch the bottom of the floor of the ocean floor,
Yeah, which is absolutely just insane.
and
to
they're
me.
the first ones to do that.
Yeah.
They're right here,
In
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah,
Still
you
don't know
said-
where it's at. But
Yeah.
By the way, we don't see those advertisements on Facebook.
Yeah. No, we don't. Yeah. They're not advertising.
We're not
them.
the target.
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah, you said Marty though, you know, and
Yeah.
I've known Marty for a long time. He's a good friend of my brother's, and
Oh yes.
you know, when we sat down to talk with him, I knew that the guy was smart, but then like after talking to him, I was like, this guy's really smart.
Yeah,
Like he's
for sure.
like when you were like he was talking about writing code on something, like what kind of code was he writing, like C. And I was just like, okay, you know, to me and Jeremy, it
we're like
doesn't-
C is for code.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Jeremy are just kind of like, oh, okay. And then
No,
Larry's
he's-
talking to us afterwards, like, no, like that's not like
Yeah.
you know Python or something,
So
or, you know,
right.
another form of code. And I only know that from Larry, so I'm not trying to act like
It is
I know
not like
anything.
Python.
Okay.
Python, I can get.
Yes.
C.
I feel like if I put some effort, I could get Python.
you could.
Because JavaScript, Python, is
Most
like, yeah.
most folks should be able to get.
I'm
Python.
good at block coding.
That's really good.
that's what we teach in elementary school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And just go to Scratch, look up
Yeah.
Scratch, and that's
It's pretty-
block coding.
But it's not C code.
No.
It is not C code.
Okay. All right.
C code. So basically, the major difference is that with C code, you basically have to write everything from scratch. It controls a lot of hardware, like Marty was saying, versus Python. A lot of things is already built in, and it uses a lot of the operating system that you already have, like Windows or Mac or whatever, to control everything versus having to do everything from scratch.
Again, small company right here in Sebastian, like controlling train railroad yards around the world. You know,
Yeah.
like
Just
And-
automated trail
And Noah.
train yards.
yeah,
Think of it
like
that way.
I'm just like,
Yes, Noah, exactly like that.
and I'm like, just right here, like,
Well, not only that, but then they also design cables.
yeah.
So forget about that's like legit true electrical engineering.
yeah,
For the
Department of Defense.
yeah.
Yeah,
So That's good.
Yeah.
You know, and that's again a local guy. Like you
Yeah.
drive right by, you'd be like, oh, it's just whatever that
It's
is.
linear logics, whatever that
I
means.
know what that
You
is.
know how long I've seen that? And I clue what's in that building. I'm like, what is that? I don't know.
And now we
So-
know.
Let's go down this because not long after that, I believe, is when coronavirus hit, right?
Yep.
When COVID hit. And I remember us like kind of for a while, like, well, what are we going to do? We can't, you know, and I think when it first happened, we kind of still had one or two.
couple,
We just
yeah.
kind of spaced out correctly in here.
Right.
And then we had to go
Yeah.
virtual and we did our Skype sessions. And I remember and not to go back to Rob and Wendy, because I know we talked about it a few times, but we had them back in about how they're going to deal with it. And they had a game plan. And I start thinking about all the other people that followed that,
Yeah.
or that we just had not long before that were business owners and now having to deal with that. And I think it really, we had kind of, not that we thought of things, but then you had connections of like, man, they're going to have to do this, this, and this. They all these problem solving that had to take place for them to make it through COVID. And I just started thinking, I know that we're in that still. And, but that whole chunk of, and we're still in it, but
it's more relaxed. Now, what I will say about COVID for us as a podcasting group is that it actually helped us to be able to be more remote and be able to figure out video.
it did.
Yeah, it did.
So like something positive for us came out of this because
It did.
I do feel like we're not videoing this episode, but in the next season, everyone's going to be up.
Yeah, we
video.
want video for every episode. And we realized what a benefit that was, especially for our YouTube people that watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know quite why, because we're not that pretty, but
But it helps.
No, but I
It does help.
think when you see the person speaking instead of just hearing them, you're able to kind of feel the energy that they might be trying to put
I
off.
get it. I do. I get it. I'm the same way on YouTube. I would rather watch somebody, even if they are ugly as us.
Yeah.
I would rather see them talk than just listen to them talk.
I think it's also easier to follow the conversation when you can see them and hear them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you have Rick Starr, right? Cinema World.
Yeah, how you just
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's still, but either way, I mean he was a great guest, like a whole bunch of knowledge. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
'cause he had
him,
so
I
many
could
other-
legitimately just sit down with him, and he's got a lot of lessons in there, right? Because he's done all kinds of stuff.
A lot of
and
life
big
lessons,
stuff.
but business lessons.
yeah,
And he's
business
humble.
lessons. But then beyond that, too, for me, I appreciated he was really able to like geek out on movies too.
Yeah.
You know, the business that he's actually in, like
He loves it.
Yes.
yeah,
I
he
can
loved
appreciate
it. Like
that.
it wasn't just like, oh yeah, I own a movie theater. It's like he loves the movies. And now it kind of really relates to me, like whenever I think about the Majestic as opposed to AMC, the two movie theaters we have here in town, because I'm like, it clicks for me because I'm like, you go into the Majestic and it's like that old time movie feel, you know, like
is
that's
fantastic.
Yeah, that's what they went for. So I can see it because he loves the movies.
Yep.
So he loves going to the movies. He
Yeah.
loves, you know,
He was trying to bring that experience to them, not just a
Yes.
place to go, but like a draw you want to go.
Yes, exactly. Because he, you know, and he, you know, was able to dork out on Star Wars and stuff with Larry and,
Good time.
you
That
know,
was
and
nice.
how he has all the costumes and everything that they keep.
And he
so
lets
that
Rob
people-
have them.
Yeah.
For Halloween every year.
Yeah. You know, so they have, you know, a costume so people can dress up, you know, employees can dress up for openings of movies and stuff like that. Like you can tell it's somebody that just, they love what they're doing. It's not just another business venture for them.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No. Yeah. That was like to me that, you know, again, like you asked me what's my favorite episode. Like honestly, there's just.
I don't think
Every
it's-
one of them really did bring something to the table for me that was like legitimate. I think that one was a long episode.
And-
It was an hour and a half, and I felt like we could have talked for like 4 hours.
I remember that because it went quick. I think we really only stopped because we realized that we weren't used to going those longer ones like that. So I go, I think I lost my train of thought now. So never mind. So go ahead.
For me, the best gauntlet for me was hockey.
Oh, Gauntlet, yeah.
The best gauntlet,
it
the
was.
best Gorilla
yeah,
Gauntlet we
because
had
that's a
was
good
hockey.
one.
I felt like I could have just stayed in questions with both Felice and
Brett. I believe.
Brett.
Yeah.
Dr. Hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just call him
Yeah.
Los Hockey.
Yeah. I felt like I could have just stayed in conversation with both of them, like in
had a lot of
before even
knowledge.
getting into their business or what kind of just really cool stuff that they're doing over there. I just Could have just stayed talking.
Yeah, because I think that gauntlet went like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
That was when we realized, like,
and it was worth every minute
and
of it.
I know if listeners that have listened to all of them, at least one of us try to get us back on point when we get on.
But that one,
there was no, and then at the same time, you didn't realize it as much, and I think you just let it go.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is a good one.
and then you have two more people who like honestly could have just like been like, nah, you know, I don't need to be on this podcast. Jen on a jet plane, right?
Yeah.
Successful travel blogger.
Yeah, it left her prominent career as a lawyer,
Yep.
bar
In
certified
Miami.
in 2 states.
Yeah.
By the
Legit-
time she was 24.
And she, yeah.
and she just quit. She's like, I've already been blogging and I just want to travel.
Yeah.
And she moved to Puerto Rico just recently. And, you know, it's funny because like we recorded that episode during COVID and there's an alarm that went off and we're like, what is that alarm? And they legitimately had curfew at 6 p.m. Like they had to be in their house by 6 p.m. every night. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, again, like talking to people, they live in different areas, they have different experiences, and we just happened to have been recording at the time when that was happening. And to me, it just showed like, oh, that's happening there. Like that's, you know, it's just
Different perspective on life, you know?
Yeah. And then
I think everybody needs a different perspective every now and again. And I feel like the more often you can see a different perspective, the better.
the better. Yeah.
'Cause-
Don't be siloed.
Yeah.
That's the worst place you could be in.
Don't be closed-minded.
Yeah. And you get in your own little bubble and you forget that there's a world out there, you know. And going back to her, I mean, I say it probably 4 times a week, you know. The only thing we take to our grave is our memories, you know.
For sure.
So for me, like, it just, I don't ever let that escape my mind or get too far from my mind. I know how quickly, you know, this life can be taken away from any of us. So whenever somebody does something like that, or like Nikki, you know, moving to Costa Rica, I'm always like,
Or Nicole Marie, right?
yeah, I'm just always the biggest cheerleader for that, because I just, you know, I don't believe in just staying stagnant and just pretending like being stuck in a rut, you
Right.
know?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And then the other person that could have said, I'm not doing it, is Danielle Wall. Like she had no reason to say yes to our podcast. And
Yeah.
local investigative reporter, and she just jumped on our podcast and like, you know.
Yeah, and she too, I mean, traveled all over the U.S., you
Yeah.
know, just going after her dream, you know, being a reporter, you know, and talking us through like
how
what
many
that-
no's she had to
Yeah.
get a start,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and just going, you know, from smaller markets to bigger markets, you know, and how much she had to give up for her dream too, you know, because you give up a lot of, you know, being able to, you know,
Freedoms probably too with that.
well, yeah, you know, you give up a lot of, you know, decisions that you want. You want to live here, you want to live there, you want to buy a house here. Everything really was determined on the job for her. What bigger market could she get to? So, I mean, that was, you know, for me, I mean, me personally, I don't think it'd work for me, because you do got to give up too much or too much for me.
For you, yeah.
For you, because
Yeah.
you love this area
Yeah.
and you're not willing to move.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you
there's
know.
that, right? And then you have Jim Hill, right? That was actually a long episode. That's probably been our longest episode because
Very
I
long
think
episode.
the longer we got into this podcast, we're like, all right, well, it's okay to have like long episodes.
Yeah.
If
And
the conversation
As
is
the year
good.
went, I think we realized you're right, because I think even the gauntlets, we realized it was a joke at first, like this is the longest one. No, this is the longest one. And then we realized like that's what we're wanted to do. We want it to be about. And I think we realized that over time.
And I think, yeah, that's very true. And I think with Jim, I think, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in our local town locally, and it was very personal for us. So to be able to sit down, or him sit down and talk with us about some of the stuff that's going on, I think helped, you know, I guess shed some light on some of it for us. And we knew it was personal for a lot of local people that would want to listen to it. So I didn't even have a clock in my mind at that point. It was more of, I wanted to get
the story out.
yeah,
Get the
and a lot of,
platform there for
yeah,
him
and a
to
lot
share it
and a
out
lot
to
of
others.
questions answered that I feel like a lot of people had, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And not just about the local stuff that's going on now, but local stuff in general.
Well, yeah, you have that, right? And I didn't know this because I'm ignorant to it, or was ignorant to it. But like, how if I just wanted to go up to a city council, if you're listening to this, and you're like, hey, I want to air my grievances with the local city
You can
council.
get 5 minutes,
You,
right?
you can
Yeah.
go up there and get your 5 minutes
per issue.
per issue. So
Yeah, you can come back up.
So if there's multiple issues
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
are
citizen
being
input.
addressed, you can
Yeah.
have your input and be heard, which is again,
And it's not just something old people can do. Like
No.
young people
young
can do
people
it
do-
too.
yeah, there's a whole YouTube channel we're trying to get on that we talked about. But anyways, that, and then he talked about his business, which he started again. It's just that was a great conversation. Then you had Mackenzie Gracefit, who is just
Probably the only world-class athlete that I've ever had an opportunity to sit down and talk to.
she's legitimately
Yes.
a world class
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
athlete
For sure.
you know?
Yeah, I'm just thinking in my head, I don't know any other world-class athletes.
No.
So I'll say that I know Mackenzie now. She was gracious enough to come sit down in the studio and talk with us.
Again, she had no reason to say yes.
Yes.
She
Just
has
eternally
a phenomenal,
grateful for everybody that, just gave us a yes.
And as we've gone through some of these, I know there's a lot we haven't even gotten to, but I start thinking about, I don't know if we really did, but giving a shout out to Rob and Wendy, because I know they were probably our biggest networking to start us off and help
for
us
sure.
through and get us multiple episodes over the year. Because as we start saying, it's like, oh yeah, Rob and Wendy got us that one. Oh yeah, Rob and Wendy got us that one.
Yeah.
I mean, they got us a lot of episodes and so I'm definitely grateful for that, because
for sure.
those are people we would never come in contact with at that time.
Yeah.
And that led to more. And then it was like a domino effect that got us more connected. And to that networking piece that you were saying earlier. That was it's
Well, the one question I have got though, and I got Larry, well, I'll bring this up in a second, I guess. We've never done the Gorilla Gauntlet.
I was
with
literally about to
ourselves.
look it up and see if we're going to
So-
go for it. Okay.
Larry has a whole new set of 52 questions that we're going to randomly draw from the Gorilla Gauntlet for next
So
year.
these aren't the original 10.
The original 10, I think, are in
Some
here.
of them are in there. We'll have to look through it and make sure I write them in.
Reservation.
But I have got why we haven't actually done the Gauntlet. So maybe we wrap up with the Gauntlet.
Are you going to
good
pull
with
one
that?
where all three are going to answer the same question?
Yeah.
Like
Does that work?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So we're pulling off the stack, not necessarily our own original.
Yes.
Gorilla Gauntlet. Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Is that good with you?
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Kind of a teaser for next year or next season, I guess.
Sure.
Married or single?
Married.
Married. Happily.
Happily. To the most beautiful wife.
To-
Mine's most beautiful wife.
Yeah. Mine's the most beautiful wife.
We can agree to disagree.
Yes. That's a good answer.
Live in a sailboat or an RV for the rest of your life?
RV.
RV.
Yeah, that's not even a question for me. The
Yeah.
sailboat freaks me out. Like I watch guys on YouTube that do it, and it would just freak me out to be out in the middle of the ocean in a 40-foot sailboat.
Haven't you seen Waterworld? No, just kidding. Just kidding.
You're just prepping.
Yeah. No, RV for sure. I feel like there's so much more to see than just flat blue. And like,
Yeah.
I get you some really neat coastlines, but I could drive those coastlines and I could drive a lot of other regions.
That's my
So,
thought too, honestly.
Okay. I guess WYR stands would you rather?
Would you rather?
Yeah. Okay.
Look at you
Context
picking up on the
clues.
lingo.
Context clues here from the car. Would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music or forced to sing any song you heard?
Dance.
How good's my voice?
What
What you
what
got
you have
now?
right now is all you
Ooh,
get.
Dance.
Dance it out.
Now, here's the thing.
Corey, what are you going to do? Is this a Corey card?
Yeah, it should be the Corey card because you can't do either.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I can't do either well.
No, agreed. But I'm not. I know I sing like crap.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could dance well, but I definitely,
I'm
at
with
least
you.
I could feel happy
Okay.
doing
I
it.
want to preface this with saying I wouldn't mind doing either, but I'm horrid at both.
That's fair.
I have way too much confidence to turn down either one, so it really wouldn't matter to me, honestly.
So pick
I would
one.
sing, I guess.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Just
I
to
feel like-
draw the most attention to you.
That's
Yeah,
that. There it is. Because
I
I'm
feel
thinking
like
at least
dancing-
dancing you could do in other spots where you might not interrupt others.
but-
I could do that, anywhere. Just people look at you funny.
Yeah, it'd be like, that dude's got the shakes.
Would you rather see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's difficult because like you almost want to know who's the other person.
Anyone but yourself. You can choose.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard to kind of pinpoint that because I know what's going to happen about 10 minutes from now. That's all I get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know.
What if you're like,
Mine's an easy question. I got
What would you do? Someone else? You?
Yeah, I would do my son.
Oh, you know what?
Just the
That's a neat way to do it.
protection, You know, like it would just be a protection.
So you mean
thing for-
constantly, or just for only for 10 minutes and it's
I think
over?
constantly.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Now I got you.
I would have to say my son.
Yeah.
Like, just because
Just make sure you're safe.
yeah, I'd have 10 minutes of protection. That's my only thought process.
I get that. But now I have
behind
2
it.
kids.
So you got to choose your favorite.
So I
Yeah,
can't-
selfish
so-
choice.
So do I pick? What do you do there? I pick my own 10. Now it feels selfish, but at least if I'm 10 minutes ahead, I know what's coming for both of them.
Just always be with them, and then
Well, I guess as long as they, hey, listen, as
I
long
know you're
as
in college, but
as long as 10 of the future 10 minutes, as long as you get notified, you just have to let
I
both
set
your
up
kids
9
know.
minute,
Yeah.
9 minute like updates.
Yeah, if something horrid happens, they need to let you know in 10 minutes because then
No,
you can go
9
back.
minutes because they're gonna
yeah,
be late.
Yeah.
I need a 5-minute update. That way I
Yeah.
have time to react for 5
Yeah.
minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that's tough. I guess that's the route I have to take for that
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah. Okay. Rabbit hole.
Would you rather have unlimited internet, first class tickets, or never have to pay for food at restaurants?
Food at restaurants?
I would say first class.
But
Is it
wherever you're
unlimited
going,
first class tickets?
do I have unlimited food wherever I go?
No,
That's not. See these cards.
Wait, what do you mean?
So I get unlimited flights forever, but I only get unlimited food for one restaurant.
no,
That's what I'm trying to hear. What you're saying? Okay.
no. So basically,
Guys, we really prepped this out.
Yeah. So read it again.
Would you rather have unlimited internet, first class
International.
Oh, I thought it
First
said,
class
yeah,
tickets.
It's kind of
Until I
Yeah.
couldn't fit it.
yeah. Okay.
We're gonna have to
Okay.
type some of these.
Would
out.
you rather have unlimited international first class tickets or never have to pay for food at restaurants?
Right.
internet tickets?
I was like, what the
That's why I was.
yeah. All
I
right.
thought it was like comma there at the
So
end,
is
but
this?
it's actually
So this is on vacation. Like, all right, I'm getting first class to go anywhere I want,
Or you could walk into any restaurant and
anytime.
yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna eat more frequently than I'm gonna travel,
I'm still gonna take the travel.
and then I could save my money and pay for the, and probably
thinking
still
the opposite.
save.
No, I'm
on
thinking the
flying
opposite.
it.
Do you know how expensive it is to travel?
Yeah, but I don't
internationally?
travel to the amount that I eat.
Yeah,
You
but I
would if you had
would-
unlimited,
yeah. I would fly to just wherever.
That's fair. I'll give it to you.
and then I could buy
It
whatever.
would be a tough. It'd be a tough.
But
Because I
you
love
said
to
international.
eat too.
International tickets, I can't go off on a weekend.
I could work from wherever. So
It's different. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it would be a tough choice. If it was just unlimited, international does make
If
it a little
that
harder.
changes it. I think if it was like just unlimited continental, sure.
But yeah,
That's weekend
I'm gonna
trips
eat
all the
out.
time, every
I'm gonna
weekend.
eat out every night. At that point, like I'm having my food cooked every night.
But that won't be free if you took the tickets instead.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I think I'd go food.
But then you can't afford the tickets all the time, like he said.
right. That's why it's like a good question. Like, what would you rather
But
do?
international, I pack my lunch and go international. How big's my PBJ can be
Well-
to get on the plane?
Yeah, exactly. You can make it work out. You can just carry it with you.
I got you. I guess if that's the case, I'd go international.
Yeah.
If a song played every time you entered a room, what would it be?
Superman's theme song.
Is there a name to that?
Yeah, I have it on my phone because I did it jokingly a couple times at work.
I think it would depend. Like,
No,
what am I
I'm
doing?
just
I'm just entering the room.
Yeah, same song though every time you enter the room.
That would be more of like a.
Larry wrote these, but I'm making the rules for him.
I appreciate that.
These are definitely a good trial. We might go through all 52 guys. We'll edit it out. Don't worry.
I don't know. Like it depends on my mood, really.
I know, but you can only pick one.
Right. So
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out like is it gonna be something like rock, or is it gonna be rap, or is it gonna be something?
So this would be almost like you could almost do this as like
I-
your fight song, right?
because if it's like if I'm gonna go running, it's gonna be running Jules fast, running Jules fast with
That's a commercial. I was going to give
With,
you the Superman theme song.
with Run the Jules.
I don't know what song you're talking
I'm
about.
aware, but if
Okay.
I'm gonna go for run, like that's the song I'm running to.
I get that. It's almost like an emperor coming in. Like
So I've done this on multiple occasions where I'll play it, put it in my back pocket, and just walk into a room. Like, it's actually
That's
fun
awesome.
to do because
Yeah.
people look at you at first, like, and then they might know the song.
Okay. All right.
I
See,
think
like,
I
it
go.
gives you like a very passionate.
Or
intro.
they'll be like, That's some old ass song.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'd probably go.
What's my audience now?
I'd probably go. Really want to say Eye of the Tiger, but I think
It depends.
Welcome
right?
to the Jungle. Probably Welcome to the Jungle.
That's a good one.
Is that
But
your
you're
jam?
always going to be hyped.
Yeah,
That's the
All right,
thing.
so here, wait, let's go back to the-
I don't
I'd rather
always-
always be hyped though.
Is this every room you walk into?
Yes.
So-
I walk out that door right there, out of the studio.
So,
Jigga, jigga,
Welcome
jigga,
to-
jigga, 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 jigga.
But it's got to be at the course every
so
time.
now I put this in a context. Welcome to the jungle, baby.
You're gonna do
Speaking, so like that's what I'm thinking. Like, what if you like, you know, there's different
Yeah.
events
Kids
that
sleeping.
would
Kids sleeping, you walk
you
in.
can't go check on your kid anymore.
Can you control? Can you control the,
The
volume
volume?
of the song?
No.
It's always a 10.
Yes.
always a 10.
Yeah, always a 10.
See, that's tough now because now every I can't go
Actually,
check.
I don't want
Although
this.
that keeps you out of like check. That's a tough card.
It's a tough card.
It's a fun one, but that's tough.
Maybe Tom Sawyer.
Okay, yeah. It's a tough. I think you can at least start the song wherever you want, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Tom Sawyer.
So you need something with a little up and a little down.
Yeah, but
Okay.
for me, like Tom Sawyer, like the intro is like one of the best.
Yeah.
intros.
No, it's a great song.
I'm sticking with Superman.
If
Darth Vader.
if you could have an all expense paid trip to see any famous world monument, what would it be?
Roman Coliseum.
That's a good one.
100%.
Yeah.
That would be mine.
Yeah.
Like, I it's not even a question. Second one probably the Great Wall of China.
I seen they did a marathon on the Great Wall. You see
That
that?
had to be a lot of up and down.
Yeah, I was watching the one guy on YouTube do it. He was supposed to do the half. He only ended up doing the, or he was supposed to do the whole. He only ended up doing the half.
The
Yeah.
biggest ball of yarn.
Okay, is that in Kansas?
Yes,
I'm
I've
just
seen
kidding. I'm
You've seen
struggling
it, right?
with that.
Yeah, I went there.
I was joking, but I'm struggling with that. I don't know. It's tough. Because I first thought it was the pyramids. I thought that'd be really neat to see, but
That would be cool.
that was my first thought that came to my head. But then I start thinking of others. Like, no, that'd be cool. Like, I'd love to see the Northern Lights up, but like further. Like,
Yeah.
It's not a monument though.
No, all right. Sorry. Oh God. Sorry.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
are we
fair.
playing
No.
by the rules or not?
Yes, we are. I'm a rule guy. That's fair. I started thinking of things I want to see. So my bad. I changed it up on the card. So I guess my first thought would be the pyramids, but I think the Colosseum would be really cool because I feel like you also got to think about what else is around. What else are you gonna
I would
see in that
If you're
place?
saying strictly monuments, I would probably. And here's the thing: I know like Paris is overcrowded, but I really want
Yeah.
to see the Eiffel Tower.
I know my
Like,
daughter
I
wants
just-
to go there.
I
Like, I'd
just
love to see
wanna
the
see the
Louvre.
Eiffel-
So that's the thing that about the Eiffel Tower. Like some people don't realize is like everybody awes at the pyramids, right? And
Yeah.
like, at the structure, but Eiffel Tower was just as challenging with about the same amount of tools,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
and they put that
And the
together.
and then engineering, but for me, because I
Yeah.
always kind of marvel at the engineering
yeah.
of things, and I do for like the pyramids too, and the Colosseum even. You know, they all have their own engineering, but for me, it's like metal engineering. So it's like
I get that 100%.
the thing that drives me away is just like how like I've read up on it, like how crowded and stuff it is there. You know.
That would.
But that is probably my number one. But Colosseum is probably a close second, and the pyramid's probably a third.
yeah,
Then I think
pyramids are up there for me,
those are all great.
and also the
that sounds like a great summer, guys.
the Mayan temples. Like I would love
Yeah.
to see that too, personally.
Yeah.
Like Machu Picchu, like that to me
Yeah.
is really
Yeah.
cool. Like I could
Yeah, Chichen Itza and all that.
see,
yeah.
like you start. It's like the list gets really
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
pretty quick. But
Yeah,
obviously,
pretty
what
quick.
came to your head first would be what
Morning person or night owl?
morning.
Night Owl.
Night all the way.
I like
I can't wake
I
up in
can-
the morning.
get up early, go to bed early. It doesn't bother me.
Like, see, like for me, like if I try to go to bed early, like I'll legitimately try,
Yeah.
and like my mind starts racing, and I'm missing out on something.
You know how many times I've woken up in the morning, like early, like I like to do, and I see a ton of texts from all you guys because I'd already fallen asleep.
All right, let's do one more, and then maybe
All right.
we'll wrap up with some of our normal ones just to get those questions out of the way.
All right.
Got it.
If you could only wear comfortable or fashionable clothing for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
Can't you get both?
I think you're to see it.
What's that?
I think you're to see it on me.
Yeah, listen. I know Larry when he wrote that was like, there's no way.
And I know that Corey, I think, would go fashionable, but at the same
but
time,
to me, I don't find fashionable clothing uncomfortable. So.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like you could.
It's because you're not fat yet.
Do I have an unlimited budget? Can I have some more rules to this car? Because there's probably some really comfortable, fashionable stuff. I'd probably go fashionable too, because I feel like you can be comfortable in that.
Yeah,
in those.
It's not uncomfortable to me to wear fashionable clothing. So.
Okay.
Now, if I'm wearing a suit like an outdoor wedding, that would suck.
Yeah,
I'll be comfortable.
you can wear a fashionable T-shirt though.
That's fair. I like that. I
Remember-
like where your head's at.
Ed Hardy was charging like $200 for a T-shirt.
I never bought one of those. Did
But
you buy one of those?
Or
No.
you can get a Full Grill Life T-shirt for $25.
Yeah, exactly. That's fashionable. I guess fashionable is a very open-ended.
subjective.
Yeah,
That's
very
fair.
subjective.
So maybe Larry is
Yeah.
fashionable in his own
Yeah.
sense, right?
All right,
You
let's
don't
just
know.
All right.
so people know. We'll go through some of our regular ones. What do we got? We got.
All right. We said married or single.
kids. Corey has one.
Keen
Larry
has
has one.
2 girls.
What kind of car do you drive?
I have a Nissan Frontier.
Toyota Tacoma.
S10 pickup. What else we got? We got beer,
Walk-
whiskey, or wine.
I'd go beer.
In the pinch, I'd probably go beer. But bourbon, whiskey would be up there
Bourbon.
too.
Yeah.
You would be like,
But you go beer over that? If you had to hang up one of them forever, which one?
It probably would be
Well, I would-
bourbon.
Yeah,
I would
you'd
hang
stay
up.
with the
I would hang up wine forever.
Yeah, but I mean, out of the two that he was trying to decide.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'd say beer. I feel like I enjoy finding because I've tried like the whiskeys and stuff. But I think beers, I like the different flavors in them and stuff. So I definitely go beer.
For me, I don't drink at all, so it's a pretty easy
So
choice for me.
Coke, Pepsi, or RC Cola.
I'm always Coke Zero.
Okay,
Always.
Always.
that's fair. All right, there you go.
I'm looking.
Walk in or reservation.
Walk in. Always walk in.
Yeah, always walk
I'm
in.
going to go with the people that have always backed me through the year, and they said, which is what I've always meant. If I'm going with a big party, I'm going to call ahead, and if it's just me and my family, we're probably going to walk in. And that I know these two will make it sound like I make a reservation at Chick-fil-A,
They do. He's
All right,
tried.
but that's where it's been from.
Favorite movie or book?
I'm letting somebody else go first.
All right, so favorite book. Probably,
Shawshank, probably movie for me.
that's your favorite movie of all time?
It's so hard for me. Actually, it's probably not Shawshank. It
It's-
probably have to be
It's hard because you go
Dumb and
kid.
Dumber. Dumb and Dumber. Actually, Dumb and Dumber. Actually, I'm changing it up. Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
The original Dumb and Dumber. I could watch it over and over and over again.
Can you?
Still funny to me
It is
every
funny.
time.
What about you for movie, Larry?
I probably quote it the most.
I probably
for-
quote Shawshank.
For
the
movie,
most.
honestly, I do like Snatch. I think it's a good movie. But
It's gibberish.
it's great though. Forrest Gump probably.
Such a great movie, though. Yeah.
See, you
that's
start
another
getting at
one.
like Saving Private Ryan. I can watch over and over. It's a phenomenal movie. I like war
Like to me
movies.
though, like Forrest
Braveheart
Gump-
was phenomenal for me. Like, there's a lot of good ones. Like
Forrest Gump speaks a lot to me, and it's kind of like
it was the first of its kind. Too.
well, besides that, like to me, it's kind of like what this podcast is all about, right?
Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Well, besides that, right? Like you kind of see some guy who, very unassuming. Meanwhile, his life experiences are through the roof.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so to me, like that speaks to me. And so to me, like, that's kind of what I'm hoping to uncover. Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I get that. For me, I think the reason why I would would put Dumb and Dumber for me over Forrest Gump or Shawshank, because those are probably my top three, honestly. If I watch a movie, it's generally a comedy.
I got you. I like.
The real world is really heavy for me, so like if I'm trying to sit down for entertainment, I want it to be
Yeah.
funny.
yeah.
Shawshank's.
Yeah.
I think I like the whole thought of like this guy got the worst hand dealt to him possible. Right. I mean, other than
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and then staying so calm, cool,
Calm,
collected.
That's
Like-
and then like the more you watch it, the more you realize his connection to this person in the movie. Even though Red was his best friend in that process, there was so many other connections, and he still tried to do like things for his group of people. So he had that loyalty aspect that was there at all times. Like there are so many things to that with all those things that he still
Yeah.
Another movie,
finally made it.
another movie that never gets mentioned, like ever. And maybe I'm alone on this, but for me, Green Mile is one of those.
Movie. It's a
I
great
probably
movie.
wouldn't put it like in a top like 5, but
It's
I think
up there for
but I
me.
think it is a great movie.
It's a really like
I think the
kind of like out
sci-fi
there
part of it.
concept, like, but it, like with the reality, like
The first time I watched it, I didn't until the sci-fi, like the first scene of the sci-fi piece to it.
Yeah.
Like where he absorbed. I was like, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that was
I
even
don't
going to be it. I was like, oh, didn't see that coming.
'cause it's
So
like a
it definitely-
spiritual, you know,
It's a Stephen
side
King
of it.
movie.
Yeah.
it's
So,
But
very
it really is.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
spiritual. I wouldn't like I think of like a spiritual movie, not even like necessarily sci-fi. Even though you know it's like science fiction, you know that they're
Yeah.
throwing in there. I get that, but like to me, it's like
It just hits me because like at the end, like when he's ready, in spoiler alert. So if you've never seen Green Mile, like cut me off right now.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
but you know, if it's spoiler
It'll be on
alert, it's
TBS
been like
next weekend.
15 to 20 years later.
probably
so.
30 years.
If you haven't seen it, too bad.
Yeah.
Spoil it away.
but to me though, like it just spoke to me because like how ugly the world can be when you're given somebody who's such a gift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. And so
Okay, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like I was like, holy shit, like this is
Yeah.
it's deep, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that you don't really realize, but it's,
So,
it's a great
Not
movie.
to stay in this one for too long, but what would be your favorite childhood movie? Like that one that you remember as a kid. Mine's Goonies. It was like I watched that so many times. The adventures of them like being a friendship thing. Like it really, that was probably my number one childhood one. Do you have a childhood one?
Like, did you watch it on like the VCR or something?
Yeah, probably
like
on
how
TV
old
at
were
that
you
time.
when you were watching Goonies?
I don't know. It's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
But like, what age were you watching Goonies?
We're about the same age as those guys that are like in real life now, wherever they're at.
Oh, this is easy for me because I just watched a documentary on the making of it too. Sandlot.
Sandlot was great.
Sandlot was
yeah.
great, yeah.
There's a documentary.
Yeah, on YouTube. It's
My
like an
wife-
hour-long documentary. It's great.
My wife had the biggest crush on
The
the
Jet.
Jet. She
The
still
Jet-
every time it comes on, she's like, I have the
he's
biggest
not
crush.
in the doc. He actually got in some trouble. I looked
Yeah, I
it
think
up.
he had some. Yeah, because
He's not on the documentary. It was for like the 25th anniversary, but they go back and they have this big event. Like
Where is this documentary?
On
Netflix?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay.
it's
I'll have
honestly it's worth a watch.
to- okay.
I
love Sandlot.
I want to
It's a
go
great
out
movie.
to Arizona where they filmed for the 30. They did a 20 year and a 25. I think they're going to do a 30 year. And they have all the guys come out and they like play it in the field on the big screen, you know,
That's
like
awesome.
it's pretty cool, right?
That is
like,
cool.
You're killing me, Smalls. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
there's-
like
I still have that shirt.
yeah.
As a kid, I don't know, man. Stand By Me is up there.
Oh, great movie.
What's
Yeah.
weird is that I'm naming all these movies and they're all Stephen King movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
there you go.
Shawshank, Green Mile,
Yeah.
Stand By Me. Yeah.
Interesting. Again, I know we went. That's what the.
What about
Gauntlet.
book? Do you guys have a favorite book?
See, so with books, I'm not a fiction
know.
reader.
That's okay.
I'm a big nonfiction kind of guy.
Yep.
That's just what I've always enjoyed. So I don't have like an actual.
If it's fictional book, I remember the book that I remember thinking like, holy,
Yeah.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl. See, I haven't. I would say, go ahead, Corey. You have a book?
I really, honestly, I probably don't have a book. Like, because if I read stuff, it's to learn something.
something.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So-
But
But even those,
as
right?
a-
Like for me, like the David Goggins book was phenomenal.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
if I was to do like
And that's a
And I'm the
fictional,
worst
non-fictional.
for like getting a book. You know,
yeah,
as I look
and
at
finish
these three books right here, it's
you got to go that audio
the
route
third
now.
door.
Audio route's the way to go.
Start with why. I think that's
You've had that since we started this.
and the dichotomy of leadership by Jocko. So that's the three
That's-
books sitting right here.
That's probably up there.
I have Extreme Ownership by Jocko. I haven't finished.
Well, not only that one, but the what was it called? The Jocko one. It's called
Discipline.
Discipline Equals Freedom. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a great book.
And
But I
it's a
listened
quick read
to it.
too.
It's a quick listen.
You put it down on iTunes like it's like tracks, so you can
Yeah.
listen to it in chunks. But
Yeah, on Spotify.
if I were to,
too.
because I'm as a teacher, like I've read a couple books in my class with my classes, and two stick out. The number one is Wonder.
Okay.
Wonder is like it's a newer book. There's a movie out now for it, but like the way it teaches point of view, because it divides it up, it retells the story with a different character's point of view from the
Yeah.
same story with different pieces, so it kind of
Yeah.
continues. and so it starts with the main character who has a deformity, and then it talks about his sister's point of view who has to deal with her little brother like this.
Oh,
The
okay,
parents,
I gotcha.
it even goes to the bully's chunk, so you start
Yeah.
getting his background. So you start. It really brings in the positive intent side of things. Like
Yeah.
they're treating this, but they're really reaching out for something too.
Yeah,
That's why.
and it kind of
so-
goes into the perspective. You know, everybody's different.
Yeah, that's what I'm
perspective.
saying.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
it's
Yeah.
really
now that
when
you said
Corson's
that,
older.
yeah,
it's a great book.
Here's a great series of books. But go ahead. Sorry.
now that you said that, undoubtedly, Dr. Seuss, the places you'll
sure.
go.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, it was the first book that I bought my son. Like he still has a hard time. He can't sit through the whole thing, you know, because it's kind of a longer
Yeah,
book.
it's a
you
little
know, he's
longer.
only 2, but I still read it to him.
He should be listening. He should
I
be
still
listening
let
to
him
the-
run around and play as I read it to
to
him.
the dad book and the mama, because those are like 5 books. Like
Oh, the Fallon books?
Yeah.
No, he does pretty good with it now. I mean, he has sat through the whole thing for me, but
Yeah.
now usually he gets about halfway through and then he's like, okay, let me run around and do something now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So good. Like one of the books that I bought, not even for Mason. Like I was just like, I'm gonna buy them for me because and they're kids books. It's written by a dude called his name is Kobe Yamada, and it's What Do You Do with a Problem? That's one of the books. The other one's What Do You Do with a Chance?
Oh, I have those. They have
I think they're phenomenal.
they are great books
Because they're very simplistic, but
Mhm.
they're phenomenal. Like if you want a self-help book, I would say just start with that.
And just going off of what you just said made me think of it because they're like they're a quick read where you can sit down and read it in one sitting,
Yep.
like at
Yep.
night. The Wonder book that I'm talking about is a chapter book. They made a younger version called We Are Wonder or We Are Wonders.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you want to get that for course, it's pretty cool and it talks it's very same message,
Yeah.
but at a much younger level.
Yeah.
So We Are Wonders, you'll see it's pretty cool.
All
and
right.
speaking of
Any-
fiction too, I just thought of the
Every one of these goes down a rabbit hole.
The
We
Lion,
should have our answers
Yeah.
for these
Yeah,
way
the-
ahead of time.
the Lion,
No.
the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
That is a good one.
It's a great movie.
Great book.
It is a good book.
Great book.
I
It
agree.
really is.
I agree.
Actually,
I never
think we
read
have
the
the whole
book.
series laying around here somewhere, like all the books.
if
you
Once
know.
I see the movie, like because it happens at whatever,
Yeah.
the book to me is ruined. It's the books are always
You
better.
never read the book in school?
No. The only book I've read several books, but the one that spoke to me the most as a kid that I remember and I still have a copy of is called Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. And it's about a kid, a boy, and it's back in like I don't know the exact time frame, but with ships, and he wants to learn how to be like a captain, and he has to get on the ship and he has to do all the work, and it's like, but it's been so long. But again, we're way down a rabbit hole here, so
yeah,
continue.
Yeah. We talk about the K.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
There's
do.
all right. So, favorite genre of music?
It's is acoustic, would the acoustic be, or would that be Americana? Like, because like to me,
Okay.
but then I find myself listening total opposites. So that's so hard to pick because it depends on your mood, what you're doing.
And it's such a perspective thing too, because what I call, you know, folk Americana, somebody else calls God knows what, you
Country.
know. Yeah, or, you know, country, and what somebody else calls country, I'm like, that's not even close to country to me. Or what I call rock, you know, because
Yeah.
I probably listen between folk and rock is really my wheelhouse, but then like I love good jazz too, like, or blues, like.
Yeah,
I
I'm
try
just
to.
all over the
I guess I
place.
hit
And
this
then
question like,
sometimes
what
I
can
think I'm, you know, hardcore gangster rap, you know, going down the road. You know,
sure.
It's just, I don't, you know, there's some people that I feel like hate on people like, oh, you know, let's just say, you know, the redneck going down the road playing, you know, blaring rap. And I'm always just like, that's what he wants to listen to right now. Like, why should anybody say any different about what
Yeah.
he wants to listen to? I don't care. Like,
No.
I don't care if the country guy raps in his song. If somebody likes it, then it's art, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like
for sure. I
it's
can agree
very,
with that
you know,
100%.
Yeah,
You know,
for,
subjective,
For me,
you
it's
know.
probably like if gun to my head, rock. But
Let's say you can only pick this type of music's all you get for the rest of your life.
it probably
I
it
feel
probably
like
would
that's
be
a-
rock for me.
It would still be rock. Yeah, I feel like that's a way to kind of
yeah.
narrow it down to what would I
But-
truly like.
But by the same token, Dave Matthews, I don't feel is rock, but they're probably like one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
I feel like to me when I think of Dave Matthews, I just think of like live.
Correct.
It's like I
Like-
think
like-
of Dave,
like,
I think
I-
live
Like I need to see them live
Band.
personally.
Yeah.
and,
live band
and,
is what I hear. Yeah.
and I don't consider Coldplay to be like a live band either. And I like Coldplay.
You don't
know.
consider Coldplay to
I'm
be
sorry,
rock?
rock. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, see, and that to me would be like in between like a folk almost and a rock.
I could
Yeah,
see
for
that.
sure.
I could listen.
I
to that.
love Coldplay,
Yeah.
you know, and But yeah, there's just so much.
So that's why it's hard. I think
Yeah.
it's
But if
so much.
if it was, I could only listen to one thing, I would probably go with like a folk.
Yeah.
I would probably go with like a
That's
like
a close
Jack
second for me,
Johnson,
probably.
like a Jack Johnson easy.
Which I
listening
consider that
acoustic.
folk.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would.
so that's kind of
Yeah.
the direction I would go as
You
well.
Yeah.
That's funny, interesting.
So yeah, so
I would probably say folk, and then just categorize everything I like in the folk.
No.
all right. So last but not least, favorite type of food, because I think everything else we're good.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
hit
sure.
everything else. Probably if I could only eat one thing the rest of my life, I'm probably gonna say tacos or Mexican.
I'd probably agree with you, only because I
can eat my barbecue on tacos. Okay?
That's the thing, right?
I'm
So-
putting
so
loopholes in
Oh,
there.
All right, so
okay,
here-
I see where you're going with this.
So here's my
I've had it
loophole.
before, and it's
Here's my
delicious.
loophole. Mexican.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a type of food, or are you making that up so you can answer this question?
Correct.
No, I mean,
For
it
me.
for me,
For me.
it would be between Mexican and barbecue.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could have those two things, I could survive for the rest of my life.
For sure.
butter, and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly
Yeah,
time.
and you're probably
Peanut
not
butter
joking.
jelly time. I love me some peanut butter jelly. I would say if it would talk to like actual, I would say Mexican.
Now, if like here-
Tacos,
now here's the thing.
nachos, burrito bowls, breakfast burritos,
As
like
much
all
as-
of that. To me.
as much as I love all that stuff, right? For me, it would be like if you said you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life.
Peanut butter,
Yeah,
hands down peanut. Well,
I think it'd be pizza for me.
pizza's not one thing. A lot of ingredients
yeah,
in
it
there.
is.
Okay, but is it only
I am
cheese
just
or
kidding.
only pepperoni or?
See,
I
now here we go.
I would pick with pepperoni, and then I can just take it off if I don't want it that day.
I'll take the supreme. I don't want all of those.
If I was picking one thing,
Oh my god!
it'd probably be steak.
I was gonna say that's. I was about to say.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, but I was
I
gonna
love
say,
steak.
does it
No, you're
affect
right.
us nutritionally?
Yeah,
It'd be ribeye. I feel like ribeye would be better than pizza,
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
so I'm
Yeah.
going ribeye.
But then again, you think like, man, you would get sick of steaks.
You
still.
would.
It's
So
like
that's
nothing
why I
to
think
go with
pizza's
it.
like the safe-
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I would
safe
get sick
route.
of pizza.
I don't think I would.
I think
Out
I
of
would.
steak and
I
pizza, I'm
definitely
going
would. I
steak.
get.
I would, but I could stomach it.
Can I
like,
put?
Like I think
can I
think
put
eventually.
like marinara on my steak one day and put?
That's a good point.
Parmesan. See, there's a lot.
See,
we are
always
real.
got straight to the loopholes.
Steak on a sandwich.
What is like a Forrest Gump? Shrimp kebab,
Yeah.
shrimp sandwich,
Yeah.
shrimp gumbo.
There you go.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I think I'd go ribeye steak.
Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
a lot
fun.
of fun.
It's a great wrap up. We really appreciate you guys giving us some love and listening. That really means a lot to me because you spent the last hour,
Especially
and
if you're
12
still
minutes with
listening
us.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it, guys, for sure. We appreciate all the downloads and listens. It means a lot. It makes us keep, wanting to record and gets us out there to, find new guests and people to talk to and keeps pushing
Yes.
us forward.
And if you have any suggestions, please
Send
reach
them our
out to
way.
us.
Yeah, you can email us. Well, you'll get all that info at the end here when we wrap
Yeah, and I
up.
think we went through a lot of different episodes. I know we didn't get to hit all of them, and they all gave us something. So yeah, I mean, as we were going through, other ones came up that we just didn't come into the conversation. But thanks to all of our guests, I think
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
a wonderful year.
Yeah,
Great year.
completely humbling and satisfying
Yes.
and gratifying. And I can't really say enough about it for sure.
No.
We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up, guys. Good videos, good, guests that we have lined up, and we're looking forward to our next season. So stay tuned, and we'll have a lot of information coming out on that.
All right, let's see if we can get through this ending.
The blue button first. Yeah. Guys, as always, we appreciate you listening. If you got any questions, comments, or concern, you can email us at fullgorillalife@gmail.com.
And if you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Full Gorilla Life, and on Twitter at Gorilla Full.
All right. Last but not least, please hit subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Visit our website, fullgorilla.life. Again, it's fullgorilla.life. And I'm really just stalling, so we really get to hear this
And you know
wonderful-
what though? We nailed that
Yeah.
ending. One of us always
Yeah.
botches it.
Listen,
and
we've gotten a little
crushed
better
it.
over time. Okay.
Yeah.
After,
All right, guys.
After 50,
It's about to go
what,
out.
6 episodes or something.
So, peace.
Later.
Later.